This is The Ramsay Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsay Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Number one best-selling author, yeah! Ramsey personality Dr. John Deloney joins me this hour, this day, as my co-host. We're going to help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create absolutely amazing and real relationships. So this is the first time you've been back on the air with me anyway, since you officially made Own Your Past, Change Your Future a number one bestseller.
Pretty cool, huh?
It's very cool. Very proud of you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate all your help getting the thing out there.
Very well done. And what that means is the not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness is helping a lot, tens of thousands of people in the first week that it came out. Yeah. And the sales have been astronomical. Thank you guys out there, all of you. You're the ones actually that made it a number one. But the fact that you, Dr. John, had something to say that people need to hear. Yeah. This idea of own your past and change your future. And, you know, I kind of think that the subject matter has caught a wave of, I'm hearing a lot of other stuff said the same stuff said different ways coming from a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I think there's about 15 or 20 years of research and practice and people just so frustrated. And there's been some constriction on, you know, by these national groups, like, we don't say this and we don't say that, and I think people are starting to peel off and say enough's enough. We got to do something different.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the psychological jargon and the nerd world, but I'm more saying that, you know, coming out of COVID, coming out of and coming headlong into inflation, headlong into interest rates raising, gas prices are ridiculous, geopolitical climate's completely unstable. In the middle of all that, a lot of people are going, now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, all this stuff I've been feeling, all these, the gears are, the oil's out of the engine, the water's out of the tank, whatever phrase you want to use, and I'm down to nothing. I'm empty. Mm-hmm. And so owning your past, owning what we've all just been through is part of walking out of this, not just through it.
That's right. And then deciding, like, what am I going to do next?
Yeah.
And I think I'm hoping that we're reaching a tipping point, or have already fallen over the edge of, I've got to stop going to this electronic box or this media system or this entertainment system to try to fill in those gaps, to try to numb myself through these days. I need to go back to doing things like moving my body and being around people that I love and laughing and going bowling again, for God's sake, doing some things together, right?
If you're living on the news channels, you are perpetually afraid or perpetually angry or both.
You're choosing misery. I'm choosing to be more miserable.
And the same thing is true when the only relationships I have are on a smartphone in my hand, and those aren't real relationships.
That's right.
And so I think people aren't waking up to that. I think there's a relationship revolution. Facebook stock is down.
Yeah.
So, people are waking up going, those aren't real friends.
Yeah. Or they were at one time, and we shared some funny memories, but I've got to live in my neighborhood today, right now.
Yeah. And it turns out the guy I knew in high school, I like him.
He's fine, but he's not my best friend anymore.
I don't really care about his dog.
That's right. I don't. And we threw the gauntlet down for Dallas. Dallas showed up, man.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And here's the thing. Both in Phoenix and in Dallas, when we got together for book signings and talking, I was at places as varied as I spoke at the University of North Texas Health Science Center to the faculty and administrators and students of the medical school. And then I spoke to U-Haul, and I spoke to a group of people who run a coffee company, Dutch Bros, everybody in between. Everybody's wrestling with the same stuff.
Yep.
And it's time for collectively to say, you know what, I'm putting all the nuts, I'm turning the off buttons off, and we're going to get together.
Yep.
We're just going to get together. The energy in the room was not far exceeded how good this book is. Let me say that. There was people ready to get back together, whether they're gonna burn it down, whether it's a mosh pit or it's a Barnes & Noble, they're getting together. And I'm just excited to be out here in this moment.
It's the truth. It's the truth. The book is Own Your Past, Change Your Future. The phone number here, 888-825-5225. Brittany starts this hour in Canada. Hi, Brittany. How are you?
Hello, Dave. Hello, Dr. John. I'm feeling great today. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
I'm glad to hear it. Well, I just found out last night that I got into law school.
Wow.
So, yep, I'm very excited. I've worked so hard for this and, put myself through university while being a single mother, and I'm working full-time to save up to cash flow law school. However, prior to learning of my acceptance just last night, I was throwing around the idea of taking the mortgage broker training, which only costs $500 versus the law school tuition at $20,000 per year. And I'm starting to, now that I am excited, but I'm feeling a little bit nervous because it is such a huge financial commitment. And I just kind of wanted to walk through that with you and get some insight.
I have worked with, I was the dean of students at a law school, so I've got an insider view of that. I don't know a lot about mortgage brokers. I can let Dave speak to that. What I would tell you is if you have the opportunity to cash flow law school and be a licensed attorney, and that's something that you have passion and interest in, whether it's you want to help people navigate complex contract issues, you want to help innocent people get out of jail, you want to be protected, whatever the reason is, man, there's few investments more powerful. There's few positions more powerful than having being a licensed attorney. You can help people in ways that guys like me can't. The other side of that is people go to law school because they want prestige and they want to be rich, and the data is showing us that that's not the case for the vast majority of attorneys. They're getting out, and they're getting out with a ton of debt, and they're making $65,000 to $85,000 a year here in the U.S., and it's just a slog. It's a hard job. And so I think you have to ask yourself, why would I want to do that? If you had the money and you said, I really want to be an attorney, I would high-five you all the way. Dave, I don't know about mortgage brokers. As an outsider, the last industry I want to get into when I'm looking down the barrel of the next 24, 36 months is dealing with finance of any kind of trading or any of that kind of stuff. But I may be off there.
Yeah, I talked to a guy yesterday in Phoenix that the mortgage broker he worked for laid off 100 of them Thursday. Because with interest rates ticking up, the refis have slowed way down. And a lot of their business was based on refis, more so than purchases. And purchases have slowed down because there's no inventory. So regardless of that, mortgage brokering is a valid long-term career plan. Now, it might be a hard 6 months or something coming up, but it's a valid long-term career plan if that's what you want to do. But that isn't what I'm concerned about, just in the way you told the story. I've always dreamed of. I was so excited when everything was perfect when I got law school. Oh, wait a minute, there's a mortgage broker over there. Squirrel. Yeah. And you kind of sound like a dog chasing a car and you caught it and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I think it scared you a little bit that now you got to live this dream that you've been working hard a little bit. And I think you throw your shoulders back, have some courage, and go be a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's just Papa Dave talking. That's not necessarily career advice. I was just listening to the way you talked it through. That's all. This is the Ramsay Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, Dr. John Deloney, is my co-host today. Well, it's event week, you guys. Hey, Las Vegas, I hope you're ready because we're going to be seeing you guys for a Building Wealth live event in just 2 days. We will be there this Thursday evening. Dr. John Deloney, Ken Coleman, Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and I. If you haven't reserved your seats yet, what are you waiting for? Come see us. It's going to be an action-packed night. We're going to walk you through the crazy stuff going on out there in the world of money, teach you how to build real wealth, and we're going to have a good discussion with all the Ramsey personalities about what's going on out here in the society in general. This culture is something that we all have to learn to walk around in right now without losing our principles and also not losing our freaking minds in the process. So again, Rachel Cruz, George Camel, Dr. John Deloney, Ken Coleman, hosting a free bonus session about work and relationships before the event. You don't want to miss that. Vegas, there are some seats left. We still can see you on Thursday. Orlando, same situation. Orlando's very close to being sold out. It's in 2 weeks, and we're coming to see you very, very quickly. And then in the fall, we have launched the Building Wealth series in Sacramento, Minneapolis, and San Antonio in November, 1, 10, and 15, respectively. Tickets are $25 for any of these Building Wealth events. A 4-pack is $60. So get a couple of your friends. Come. It's less than the cost of a pizza. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You'll learn stuff. You'll come away inspired, informed. You'll have new information you didn't have before. And you'll go home thinking, you know what, I can do this. RamseySolutions.com/events to get your tickets right now. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings, free samples, free shipping with the new promos they run all the time. You save even more. The promo code is Ramsey.
Today's question comes from Marissa in New Mexico. Marissa writes, I introduced the baby steps to my ex-boyfriend. We were in an emotionally unhealthy relationship but decided to live together. We opened a joint emergency fund account and a joint checking account to pay our bills, and we both brought $10,000 to the emergency fund. He had no debt, but I owed $4,800 when we opened the checking account, so we paid that off. We broke up last week, and now he wants the money back. He's calling me a thief, a scammer, and is threatening to post on social that I used all his money. I'm afraid he will make me lose my job or go to my daughter's school to post signs saying that I'm a thief. I want to do the right thing, but it seems like since we paid the debt when we decided to join our incomes, I do not owe him anything even if we broke up 2 weeks after. What is your advice? Whew. So sometimes, Dave, people get tied up in these relationships and it gets real close, and someone's telling me a story, and I'll stop them and say, hey, that's harassment or that's abuse. And you watch the light bulb go on and they go, oh, right. And so I think there's something to be said. We can have the conversation about money, but if you are afraid that somebody is going to make you lose your job, if you're afraid that someone's going to go to your kid's school and harass them, embarrass you, then you need to call the authorities and get people involved in this conversation, because this is bigger than you. This is different than just a bad breakup. This is somebody you're afraid is going to actively try to seek to destroy your life. So there's my little discussion on that, Dave. All right, so help me with this question, Dave. What do you think?
Well, I grew up in a neighborhood where the first thing we learned was what you do with a bully is you hit them in the nose. You don't give them more power.
Right.
You take their power away immediately. And so that's my redneck reaction.
That's your new book.
That's
the Redneck Reaction.
Redneck Reaction. That's it. Just pop them in the nose, and then they can stop and think about their mouth. Okay, but of course, we're not literally physically recommending that these days. But yeah, that happened in a different generation, and but it does set the DNA of something like this. So consequently, I still to this day I don't do a good job. I don't always use good wisdom when I'm dealing with a bully, because my first reaction is just game on, and that's not always the best reaction.
Yeah.
So that's what we're dealing with here. This guy's a bully.
That's right.
And So I don't want you to pay the $4,800, even if I thought you owed it right now, because your reason for doing it is fear, and that is not the right reason to do it. If you want to pay the $4,800, your reason for doing it needs to be on principle that you feel like, yeah,
I owe him that money.
I owe him that money because the way this deal went down, it's not right, and I should do it.
Right.
And I kind of think that's true.
Yep.
I kind of think you do owe him the money, but I don't want you to do it until your heart rate changes and drops down, because right now your heart's beating 1,000 miles a minute.
Because you're scared of somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
And he thinks, and I actually don't want him to think he got the money because of that either.
Because he bowed up on you.
Yeah.
And
it's
you
like,
took a knee and
he's
handed him the
going
money.
to threaten you, and
That's
so
right.
because then what's he going to threaten you for next time?
That's right.
And so, but so, and the other part of this is the and you can speak to this better than I can, but we were in an emotionally unhealthy relationship, but we moved in together anyway. Which, you know what that tells me? It tells me you're going to go back.
Yeah, or you're going to find another emotionally unhealthy
You're going to go
relationship.
back. You're going to go back to this guy if you're not careful. And so what I want for you is for him to never see you, speak to you, or have any voices in your head ever again.
Correct.
When this is done.
Right.
And the next time you see an unhealthy relationship, I want you to go, no, wait, I'm a princess, I'm valuable, and I'm so valuable that I don't need to be entering into an unhealthy relationship. Translation, I don't need to sleep with a bully.
All right. And so here's a couple things you can do. You can go to your boss ahead of time and say, hey, here's a good example. This actually happened, Dave, a year ago. Something back from my past came up, and I emailed you right away and said, hey, just so you know, everything's clear here. This came up. And I preemptively got ahead of this, right? I came and told you. It ended up being nothing. It ended up not being a thing. But I'd go to my boss and say, hey, I've got an out-of-control somebody.
Ex-boyfriend
who's going to
that
post a
maybe
bunch
run
of
his
nonsense.
mouth, and I don't know if he's going to see you or not, but just in case he did,
just know.
you just need to know this guy's a bozo, and he'll come in looking like a clown, and you'll know he's a clown.
That's right. And same at the school. Hey, if this guy comes around, call 911, get him off your property.
Get the security guys out here and remove him, and so forth, and just be on guard. And I've already let the authorities know, and I'm filing for a restraining order.
That's right.
Now, once you've done all that, then don't go back.
And don't find another one to replace him.
Okay? So, what do you anytime I do something stupid, I try to figure out what it was so I don't do it again. If I'm going to do stupid stuff, it needs to be new stupid stuff. Okay?
That's your next book, New Stupid Stuff by Dave Ramsey.
We got a lot of books coming out today. Okay?
We're going to number one bestsellers everywhere.
Redneck Reaction and new stupid stuff. But,
new stupid stuff.
But the thing is that I think there's a tremendous statistical probability that she cycles back if she doesn't break the mold on this.
That's right. And it feels like, Marissa, you're trying to soft land this thing.
Yeah.
And you want to keep this guy in the relationship. You want to figure out how to keep your money but not have to do – it's all about you're terrified.
I want you to stone cold this guy.
Yeah.
And give him the money back.
Block him on everything. Okay, so let's get into that. They got together.
Well, they shouldn't have done any of this.
None of it. Yeah, I read. I introduced him to your baby steps. I want to say, no, you didn't. You like a weird part of the baby steps.
Well, you made up your own plan where we can live together in an unhealthy relationship and then combine our money when we're not married. That we have never told anybody anything except never do that.
Because of this, right?
Because of this right here.
This moment.
This is what happens when you shack up with people you aren't married to and you play house. Because you want to wear the shoes for a week before you actually buy them.
So I've got no debt. I owe $4,800. They paid it. He paid it off. Well, technically,
I think they both put $10K in there, so there's $20,000 in there, and then they paid off $4,800 out of that. Right. Sounds like
maybe she splits it.
He needs to get his $10,000 back total, and it's probably down by something.
Walk away.
Yeah, and then but kiddo, love yourself enough. Put the stiff arm on the bozo permanently.
Block him on everything.
And anybody that even smells like him ever again. Oh, wait a minute. I smell bozo. No. Walk away. Chaos That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Mike and Kat are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Cape Cod.
It's complicated at the moment.
Okay, Cape Cod. I'm going with it.
Run with it.
I love it. I love it. Well, I got to visit there back in the fall for the first time in my life, and I absolutely loved it. Beautiful area.
It is.
Absolutely a lot of fun. Well, welcome to Nashville, and you're here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
$206,000.
Woo! How long did this take?
31 months.
Dadgum. And your range of income during that time?
We went from $67,000 to $256,000.
In 2.5 years?
Yes, sir.
That's a story in and of itself. What do you guys do for a living, and what in the world happened to your income?
I went from delivering beer to driving entertainment personnel, put it that way.
Okay. All right.
And I went from trying to run a small business just out of college, doing about $17,000 a year, to realizing I was terrible at it and throwing the baby out with the bathwater and going back to the drawing board, and I'm now a project manager.
Oh, very good. Very good. Okay. Wow. So both of you maximized your careers during this period of time, obviously. Changed directions, went a lot of different stuff. So it sounds like you do a little bit of personal security as well, Mike.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Good for you. What kind of debt was the $206,000?
Whoo, everything.
Everything. You name it.
We had credit cards, we had legal fees, we had IRS debt, we had a lot between the two of us. That was, I would say, literally everything.
Y'all were kind of normal.
Oh,
we were
beyond
the
normal.
Yes.
Yeah, normal, like a mess.
Yeah, like a hot mess.
And didn't even realize it.
How long you been married?
Oh, a little while now. We haven't had the ceremony yet during all this process. So to me, not yet, because I want that big party eventually.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I got the paper.
All right.
With the paper and the kids, we're working on the celebrating part.
Okay. All right. So we have to circle back on that.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
All right. The what got all this started 31 months ago, where you say this Ramsey stuff, this hillbilly down south, we got to check this out.
I'm going to blame it on her.
Good.
Yes.
I like blaming it on her.
We did about 10 months of it prior. I had a book from my ex-fiance's father called Total Money Makeover hanging out on my shelf. And I had tried to get a mortgage doing all the paperwork and realized we were not going to do well. And I finally sat down and read said book. And in the book was $1,000 for baby step one, as I finally read what had been on my shelf for 5 years. Wow. So that was the beginning of the end, and realizing like I needed to get him on board and what we could do to get there, and that we needed a bigger shovel.
So Mike, she walks in with all these ideas. What'd you say?
Lily looked and was like, this is impossible. Absolutely not. And then I cash flowed a lawyer and was like, oh, I can actually do this. This is the first time I've ever cash flowed a lawyer. I've always had to pay pay for it out of get a loan from my mother or get a loan from somebody else, like a friend. And that was pretty much when I cash flowed. I was like, I can actually do this? Oh my God, I can do this. All right. So then it started going, let's do this. And having her pretty much be the nerd of the whole thing, I'm the free spirit. I want to, let's go here, let's go travel. I want to go places. And she was just like, no, we have to hammer down and buckle down. So that's pretty much it. That's when I started jumping on and drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So when you saw it working, you're like, got to do it.
Yeah.
Every emergency we cash flowed got him a little bit more through the door.
It sounds like y'all have been living emergency to emergency for the last however many years. What was it like finally? I mean, y'all went from getting by to making stupid money. What's it like really crossing that financial threshold, but then all of a sudden you've got her saying, we got to keep grinding. That's got to be hard, right?
It's so hard, but it's like to look at it, having her being like, we're going to be debt free. We're going to live. We can go wherever we want. Once we're debt free, we can go wherever we want. Yeah. We can do whatever we want once we're debt free.
Giving up the Jeep for him, I think, was the hardest part.
Oh, you sold his Jeep?
Yes. And we sold it under $3,000. We still had to pay off $3,000 when we sold it to get out from under that
upside down
payment.
on it.
How much did it sell for?
It went for about 22. It was pre all the crazy.
Yeah.
So it went for about 22, and we still owed 27 on it.
Wow.
So it was rough.
Ouch. Okay, but it's gone, and now we get on to the next thing, and on to the next thing, and on to the next thing. But I think John was recognizing something that I saw too in the way you all were talking about this. You went from a place where most of your life money had happened to you, and now you started happening to it.
Money started, yes.
You kind of went over the edge, and you went, now we're in control by God.
Yes.
This stuff's not going to boss me around. I'm going to boss it around.
Exactly, sir.
I was in a place in my life when this all started where I was literally paying $45 on a credit card to get it down from that maximum to buy groceries or put gas in the car, and then it would max back out, and then I'd pay the next one off because that was the one that was due that month. And it was not paycheck to paycheck, it was credit card payment to credit card payment.
Just hide the P.
Yes, exactly.
Hide the P under a shell.
What is it for two folks who've never experienced this? What's explain in your own words, what does it feel like on the other side of this thing? Like you're completely free.
Now that you're free.
I'm weightless.
Yeah.
But I literally have no stress on my shoulders. I'm like, whatever. Like, oh, I can go here. You know, we came to Nashville. Like, oh, let's go to Nashville. Like, okay, let's go. No problem.
Whereas I'm confused and stressed out and trying to figure out what to do now that I have managed to accomplish all the little bullet points in my list. And it's amazing, but it's like all of a sudden looking at baby step 3, and it happened so quickly, and now we're into 3B trying to save for a house, and it's just kind of a what's next. It's wild.
Yeah. You've done amazing.
Incredible.
So proud of you. Because here's what happened. You didn't just get your money straight, you transformed. The way you look at it, the way you think about it. There's a heart transformation that occurred just looking at the two of you. You can see it on your face. You can see it in your body language. Yeah. It's impressive. You guys are heroes. You did some really hard work, is what I'm saying.
Thank you.
This is I can see it. I mean, some people are just like, oh, we're going to do this thing, blah, blah, blah. But you guys went from to we're in control.
That's right. And that's from I'm going to keep running this business no matter what, to I got to look in the mirror and say, what's reality here? And I got to do something different. And
Project manager.
Right?
Game on.
Hey, I don't know how you figured out that making more money delivering people than beer, but congratulations on that one, dude.
Thank you.
Well done. But now you're in a place
now delivering people full of beer. But
yeah, that's right. It's true. Very similar. But now you can decide if a job comes by and you're like, something in my gut says I'm gonna pass. You can pass.
Exactly.
Right.
Totally.
You can pass.
Yep.
That's freedom. That's freedom, man.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about sitting back and being like, oh, do I have to go to work today?
Yeah.
I can either go, no, I'm going to pass that tour off, or I'm going to pass that project off, you know?
Awesome. Those aren't people I think I want to work with this week, yeah.
Right.
And he's
I like that.
downplaying it because he went through 3 job changes trying to get there. He went from beer delivery to tours on the road and wanted to come back for family when we had that. Then attempted his dream at firefighter. We did a lot of Ken Coleman listening to in this and realized he wanted the money and went back into entertainment. And so he really, really threw everything out and started over.
Yes, both of you did.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It's incredible, guys.
Woo! I love it. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That is the next chapter in your story for sure. No doubt you are on track to do that. And we'll give you another copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give it to someone to sit on their shelf, and 5 years from now, they'll pull it off at exactly the right time.
Right.
It is the world's best-selling coffee table coaster. Holds lots of coffee cups all over America until just the right moment when it opens up. So proud of you guys. Very, very, very well done. Good stuff. And the kiddos' names and ages, I understand they're sitting off to the side.
Yes, they are. We have Ryder, who's 3, and Liliana, who is 2 months.
Oh, fun. Very, very cool. All right, it's Mike and Kat with a complete transformation while they pay off $206,000 in 31 months, making from $67 to $256. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! Woo, woo, woo! I love it. This is the Ramsay Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Warren Buffett is quoted as saying he wouldn't take all the Bitcoin in the world for $25. That might be a bit of an indictment, folks. I don't know. We've been telling you not to buy that stuff from day one.
Well, Dave, anybody over the age of 58 is clearly
out of touch
doesn't
and
know
dinosaur
what's
and
happening.
doesn't know what they're doing. And even if you happen to be one of the richest men in the world, because of your financial
acumen.
But aside from that,
Idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. And the fact that Bitcoin's gone from, 50,000 to 32.
It's having a rough few weeks.
20 minutes. It's like
when you're on the back end of the largest bull run, I don't know, on the planet's history, and people started creating imaginary things to sell. It's awesome. And then all of a sudden, when gas is expensive and food is expensive, imaginary things aren't so fun anymore.
Oh.
The unicorns come crashing down.
It turns out the NFTs and the Bitcoins are imaginary.
so wild.
Virtual means not really. Sort of, kind of. Almost. If I virtually send my wife flowers, she doesn't like it. I meant to, but they didn't quite get there. All right. Andrew is in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Andrew. Welcome to the Ramsay Show.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
All right, so I have about $1,500 in credit card debt. I'm cutting it down, not using that credit card anymore. But my question is, I have $1,694 in interest-free credit card debt. It's interest-free for 33 more months. It's equipment for my music stuff. I'm a musician, and I do stuff like that. So I was just wondering, what should I attack first? What should I do with that interest-free debt? Should I just pay the payments till it's done or just pay it off?
Okay. Well, so you have $1,600 in debt, and you have how much other debt?
That's the only debt I have.
You only have $1,600 in debt. That's your debt.
That's in the interest-free, yeah.
No, I'm saying period. Any kind of debt. You have student loan, car debt, other credit cards?
No student loans, no car debt, so I got a paid-off car. So total, with the interest-free and the one with interest, I have about $3,000 in debt.
Okay. All right. And your household income is what?
I make about $16,000 a year.
Okay.
With that's including music stuff and my part-time job as well.
All right.
And I'm a full-time student, so.
Oh, okay. There's that. Okay, because I was getting ready to say your job sucks. Okay. All right. A full-time job making $16K puts you at the poverty level, so we don't want to call that a career track. Okay. So we need to. So what are you going to do? When are you getting out of school? What's your plan?
I've got about 2 years left in school. I'm still at home, so I don't have any rent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a mortgage or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
After that,
what are you studying?
I'm graduating marketing.
Good. Okay.
So I want to go into sales.
All right. So you're a college student that lives at home with $3,000 in debt, and how is school paid for?
My father pays for that.
Very nice. Okay.
Are you running up? Are you buying music equipment? Are you playing shows on the weekend, trying to make it, or is it just a hobby?
No, yeah. That's the dream, but I also want a backup plan because I don't want to, go move up to Nashville and, not make it and be stuck. I'd be stuck at that point. So.
Yeah. How do you get the next country music star's attention in Nashville? Waiter. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's right.
All right. Okay. Number one, you got a good overall plan. Number two, if you're making $1,600 or $17,000 a year, you should pay this debt off with no out-of-pocket expenses to amount to anything very, very quickly. Would you agree with me that you're going to be done with the entire amount of debt within 3 to 6 months? Is that doable? It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
okay.
I would think so.
Okay. And so really the interest rate doesn't matter because you're going to be done in 3 to 6 months. Now, what we teach, to answer your question technically, Andrew, is to list your debts smallest to largest. And it sounds like they're about the same size, regardless of interest rate. Pay minimum payments on everything but your smallest debt. Attack the smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate. So the fact that it's a 0% interest does not impress me, does not change the order in which I pay it off. I would pay off the smallest one first, regardless of the interest rate, because I want you to have the emotional advantage of traction, seeing that you're starting to win, rather than living off of these credit cards. You're putting them under your heel and grinding them and being done with them, and that's the big thing. But it sounds like these are very similar. I mean, if they're both $1,600, $1,700 each, then you got $3,000 total. Then just you can put whichever one you want first, but be done with the whole thing in 6 months. But let's just say you had 10 different debts, and one of them was $1,000, and one of them was $10,000. But the $1,000 was interest free. Would I still put it first? Yes, I would, because I want you to get the traction, the advantage of this psychological income of winning. It's called hope, and it causes people to continue to move through this, and that's how we at Ramsey have gotten more people out of debt than probably any other organization on the planet, at least currently operating.
And Andrew, let me speak to you here. There is a Gibson Flying V electric guitar that I've been eyeballing for like 6 months, and I could afford it, but my wife and I have made some goals and some plans, and so I'm holding off, and now Instagram listens to me, and they just send me these pictures of the guitar and another one and another one. You're going to have to not buy music equipment for a season. Just stop. You think you need a new thing for this and a new, I got to have that. You don't need it.
There's no end to it.
It just will continue to consume you. And I'm in the middle of of that myself.
Any people that play music have an addictive problem for their instruments.
Music people, car people, gun people, like it just happens. So you got to stop buying equipment. Say, I'm not going to buy another piece of gear for another year, and then I'm going to get out of debt.
Wait a minute. If I need another gun, that's different.
That's right. That's right. And leave the cars alone, right?
Leave my cars alone.
Yeah.
No. It's the same thing. You get to where, and the truth is, there's almost nothing in America that we buy that qualifies as a need.
Very few.
Almost everything we buy qualifies as a want. Very few. I mean, we pretty much are all overfed and have too many clothes. And we pretty much all have a place to sleep. Yeah. So food, shelter, clothing, transportation, we got it covered. I mean, it's not an issue. And so that's not the problem in America. Now, there's nothing wrong with spending money on wants, but we just tell folks to be really careful and be emotionally mature enough to say that is a want.
Right.
And wants, for sure you pay cash for.
And for sure, they've got to go in line with your overall goals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the issues that Rachel Cruz talks about a lot, and I do too as well, and we're talking about teaching kids about money, is teaching them contentment, to learn to sit in what you have and being good with it. And, you know, how far you could go in the music business with the music equipment you already have is amazing.
Yep. That's right.
And without ever buying another thing.
That's right.
It's amazing. And how you know, if I could just get that, that's a discontentment. Right. The advertisers and the marketers' job is to create psychological dissonance, discomfort in you, so that you feel I will be comfortable when, I'll be satiated when I get that next thing. And you know, that's the driving force of the most marketed to, advertised to culture in the history of mankind, in the history of the human race. And you live right square in the middle of it, and so do I. We see 4,000 to 8,000 advertisements a day.
Yep. There
are advertisements in the bathroom, for God's sakes.
On the front and the back of the door. They're everywhere.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
You know, and so you're not getting away from it. And so what you have to learn is the spiritual and emotional, psychological discipline to say, no!
No, I'm not doing it.
It's a complete sentence.
I'm not doing it.
No! This is The Ramsay Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsay Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsay Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsay Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsay Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, Dr. John Deloney, is my co-host today as we answer your question about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create real relationships. Jacob is with us. Jacob is in Flint, Michigan. Hi, Jacob. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well.
Good.
How are
can we
you
help?
guys?
Great, man. How can we help?
Well, my wife and I are followers of your plan. We've paid off all our debt but for our mortgage, but our house burned down this last Saturday.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. What happened?
I'm not sure yet. The fire department thinks it started in the garage. I was the only one home at the time. My wife and kids were out of town with grandparents, so I'm uninjured. You know, we're okay. We'll be doing all right. It's just
Total loss?
I think so. You know, I'm no expert, but I think it's a total replacement. I mean, we got a few things out after the fire was out, but they're all smoke damaged, heat damaged.
Man, I've sat in people's front yard with my arm over their shoulder while we watched their house burn and the firefighters are there, and that's a traumatic moment, man. I'm sorry that happened. I'm real sorry that happened, dude. I'm glad you're safe.
Man.
I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah, the cliche thing to say is, well, everybody's okay. Yeah, no,
No,
not
you lost
really.
your home, man.
All your stuff's gone, man.
Yeah.
That's just your memories, your pictures, your things, keepsakes and valuables. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
How can we help you walk through this?
Well, I guess my question is a little broad. I never expected this. I hadn't really thought about it, and I want to move through this with wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so is there a Ramsey way of moving through a house fire?
Who is your homeowner's insurance with?
State Auto.
Okay, all I don't have experience with that particular brand one way or the other. You don't have to be unkind, but you're going to have to be very, very tough.
Okay.
Because the adjuster's job is to minimize the size of the claim. And he or she works for the insurance company, not for you. Okay.
Right.
You may have to involve a lawyer to get proper payout. You could also involve what's called a public adjuster, meaning you hire an adjuster on your side of the negotiation that walks you through every one of the details, and they'll cost a lot, but they usually make you more than they cost you if they're good at what they do. If you smell trouble, immediately run to one of those two. Okay, but don't start with the naive thing that the insurance company loves you and they want to take care of you. None of that is true.
Right.
And do you have most homeowners policies have, if it's a total loss, then it's going to be X number of dollars to replace the home, and then there's going to be some money to give you a place to live while you're waiting, right? Have you gone through your policy to find out where you stand?
Yes. Yeah, I saw our limit for structure, and then our limit for contents, and then we've got some covering housing.
Okay. All right. Well, immediately get your housing done. Get the family, emotionally solid in a place to live where we're not living in a hotel room as quick as you can, because you're going to be here a while. And then the second thing I would tell you to do, this is just from experience. It's not necessarily a Ramsey thing. It's just having, again, like John, having walked through this with other people. Everybody in the family start making lots and lots and lots of lists of everything you can think of that was in that house. Lots of lists. And you're never done making this list. You just keep making it. And you don't let them rush you to settlement unless it's at the max that you're going to get anyway. If they want to write you checks for the max on the house and on the contents, well, you don't have to do a lot of lists. They're just going to write, they just said, okay, we're going to cover it. But usually you've got to create some kind of proof, and then they want to argue about every freaking little item on that list as to how much it's depreciated and all of this. And so I wish I could give you good news and say this was going to be an easy thing. No, there's two different sets of trauma that's happened here. One is the fire and all the emotions that go with that and the loss. And then there's another set of trauma, and that's going to be dealing with the insurance company. I wish I could tell you it wasn't going to be that. If it's not, then you found the best insurance company on the planet. But I can tell you the vast majority of them are an absolute pain in the butt to go through this process with. And so you've got to take control of the narrative, take control of the discussion by constantly pushing, constantly raising, constantly moving the timeline along. We're going to use our contractor. Well, maybe we're not.
That's right.
There's nothing in the policy that says we're going to use your contractor. Maybe we're going to use my contractor. And so I'm going to control the narrative. I'm going to control the discussion and the decisions. I'm not going to assume. I don't want you to be mean to them again, but you need to be tough. You're going to have to be tough. You're going to have to be really, really strong. If you need to be mean, you can. But at first, you just need to be really, really strong, and don't make the assumption that just because they're nice or just because they're kind or they speak slow or low, which they're trained to do, that's going to immediately mean you don't come up $100,000 short when this is all over of what you should have gotten because you didn't lean into the details in the process.
This is going to sound like I'm being cliche here, and so I would tell you this if you and I were just hanging out and I didn't work here. I've heard of one time that somebody had a disaster. It was during the tornadoes in Nashville a couple years ago, and my buddy had just switched his homeowner's insurance to Xander, and he lost everything. And he said it was an extraordinary experience. It was from start to finish. They took care of him, and we had dinner in his brand new. They rebuilt the house from the floor up, dug the whole thing out, and he said it was like start to finish was a great experience.
But Xander wasn't the insurance company. Xander was the broker.
They were the broker that helped.
And they stepped in and also fought on his behalf.
You got somebody in your corner when you got a broker like that.
again, they do that because of our relationship.
Yeah.
And so that's
really incredible.
That makes a lot of difference. But in most cases, you're
on your own at your kitchen table. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just trying to make lists, and you're trying to figure this out, and you're trying to consider the legalities and everything else. And so and I would just readily, keep bringing up to the adjuster, look, if we can't come to a reasonable process on this, then we're going to have to involve an attorney, or we're going to have to involve a public adjuster. If you and I can't manage this project to get to a reasonable result, then I'm going to have to bring in outside people to push you around if you and I can't work this. And so you just very calmly just stay in their grill the whole time. It's going to be 2 years. Yeah. It's going to be a 2-year process. Sorry about that.
Sorry, brother.
That's if we can help any way, you holler at us. This is the Ramsay Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. We appreciate you being here. Well, John, last time we played your Questions for Humans conversation cards, you found out my favorite TV show is Downton Abbey, not true. And that there was a murder in my family. And so these cards are selling. I'm proud of them.
Yeah, they're selling like crazy, man. It's a lot of fun. People are having it gives them an opportunity, an entrance into a conversation, which they may have not had in a couple of years, so it's good. So we pulled some other cards out of the Friends deck here.
Okay.
All right. So let's see here. What's your favorite cheap meal that you'll always love no matter how much money you make?
Cheat meal. I'd probably be chocolate donuts, I guess. But that's not a meal. That's not a meal. Okay,
only
wait
Dave
a minute.
Ramsey.
No,
That's
not
a meal.
No, pizza, I guess. Yeah, probably.
Pizza?
Yeah, we still.
From
pizza.
a certain place?
Nah, just pizza. Yeah.
Mine is, I kept hearing about it over and over, day after day. And finally, one night, Sheila was out of town. I got up in the car. I drove by myself. This is years ago. To a local Taco Bell, and I said, 1 Dorito taco, please.
Taco Bell?
Listen, man.
Gross.
I took one bite of the Dorito taco, and I thought, America's going to be okay.
That's just gross.
If we came up with this, we're going to make it.
Yeah, your belly is glowing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude.
It's radioactive crap.
It's not good for you, but I'm telling you.
No, it's not only not good for you, it's bad for you.
All right. What's the best concert you've ever been to, and why? I've been to like 5 Eagles concerts. Yeah.
So, including Hotel California just the other day.
How was that?
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, the boys are getting older.
Yeah.
I mean, Vince can still sing, and they don't miss a lick on a guitar. Yeah. I mean, Joe Walsh may be one of the best guitarists in the world.
He can jam. So can Vince, man. And
Vince right there with him. But their vocals are aging out a little. They were really, really good, though. They're 90% there. Still, and Vince 100% there. He's better Glenn Fry than Glenn Fry was, probably. But,
All right, and who's the worst boss you ever had, and why?
I guess the guy that came in and told me to effing get my effing desk cleaned out and get the effing out of there, and I still don't know why I got fired.
It still haunts you?
Yeah.
You're just driving along down the highway?
He died, so I don't even, I'll never know why I got fired. I probably deserve to get fired. I just don't know what I did. I still to this day don't. But
that would drive me crazy.
Yeah. And
I would need that closure. I'm not insecure.
Well, I mean,
I would want to know, like, what did I do?
It was a long time ago. It was 40 years ago. Yeah. But, so consequently, people that work at Ramsey always know why they got fired.
Very clear.
There's never any doubt as to what happened. You may not like it, you may not agree with it, but you will know. And you're also not going to be surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I didn't see it coming. And so there's that goes with it too. So yeah, that has to be the worst boss, right?
Yeah.
What about you? What about your worst boss?
Whew, that's tough to answer in front of all these people. I'm just kidding.
They might be listening.
I had one.
Mine has the benefit of being dead.
Yeah, yours is dead. You can say whatever you want. I'll tell you this. This sounds so cheesy. I have been so fortunate to have some of the greatest supervisors ever. There's one that
get him a Dorito taco. Oh my God!
No, we don't need that kind of digestive issues on the radio.
No, but I don't need those digestive issues.
There was one supervisor I had that had some significant integrity issues that ultimately that person left, and so I ended up staying, but that person left, and that was tough for me as a young professional. It was a baptism by fire. Like,
I've had that happen when I've worked at places, but even more so, even while I've owned the place, that someone leaves, and as a leader, I've told leaders this. I've taught this in entree leadership, that someone leaves, and you go, okay, this person, enough already.
Yeah,
we've tried everything. We've negotiated about this. We've tried to correct the behavior, but you're worried because they're real popular with the gang.
And the gang doesn't know the whole story.
Yeah, and so when you eject them, you think you're going to get a rebellion, right? Mm-hmm. And when you hit eject. But what I've discovered happens is that the gang does know.
Yeah.
And you have what I call the Wizard of Oz syndrome, where that scene in The Wizard of Oz where Dorothy throws the water on the Wicked Witch towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
In the old original Wizard of Oz, right? And it's like, what a world, and she melts and goes through a trapdoor in the floor, and there's her thing. And then the Oompa Loompa guys are standing around, little poodle-looking guys, right, with their curvy knives. Uh-huh. And they're like the guys, right? And you think they're going to turn these knives on Dorothy because she just killed their boss.
Yeah.
And there's this pregnant pause in the movie, like a 3-beat, you know. And it's like, oh no, they're going to turn. This is Dorothy's toast right here. And then they all drop to one knee and go, all hail Dorothy.
That's right.
And that's what they do to the leader who removes toxic stuff from the organization.
They say, thank you so much.
The team goes, all hail the leader. Right. He's actually a leader. She actually knew what the flip was going on. So yeah, it's a very valuable leadership lesson to remember, that you might have a Wizard of Oz moment when you remove the toxic Tina from the organization.
Toxic Tina.
So, or whoever it is, or toxic Tony, it could be. I don't know. Either way, has to be somebody with a T, because we have to alliterate. So, questions for human cards are on sale. They're part of the $10 sale at Ramsey right now. Go to RamseySolutions.com. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of our best-selling books, etc., on sale for the unbelievable price of $10. Lots of number one best-selling books. The questions for human cards there. Check it all out. It's absolutely the best time to get a deal. And if you haven't heard, you can enter the Ramsey Cash giveaway for a chance to win up to $3,000. No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older to win. To enter the giveaway, go to RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. Anna is in Pittsburgh. Hi, Anna. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Don. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Okay, so I am currently teaching FPU at my church, and this week's lesson was on insurance. So it really got me thinking about my parents, and they do not have long-term care insurance. And I've talked to them about it a couple times before. They just don't really seem to be interested. So I just want some advice on what to do. I just want to make sure they're protected and that I'm protected as well.
Well, you're not in jeopardy.
Unless she's the one that's going to end up having to take care of them.
Well, if she chooses not to write the check, she's not in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So, you're there's no law that says that you have to write the check for the nursing home if they don't do what they're supposed to do. Right. So they'll just have to work it out. But so you're technically not in jeopardy. Now, And if someone refuses your advice on getting the proper coverage, and then later on wants your money instead, I think they're disqualified at that point. So, so how do you convince mom and dad to do anything? It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
You really can't. And because you've heard me say it before, Anna, it's the powdered butt syndrome. Once someone has powdered your butt, they don't want your advice on money or sex. And so your parents just aren't going to listen to you about these things. It's weird.
When I had this conversation with my parents, here's how I approached it. I said, I want to know what y'all's plan is. And what is the plan for if something was to happen to one of you? And this was a broader, like, hey, let's talk about the will. Let's talk about this. What is the plan if something happens? And that, I've got great parents and wise parents, and that sparked a conversation of, oh, we need to come up with a X, Y, and Z plan, which they got us long-term care insurance, I think, for Christmas. They got it and then told all of us as their kids, like, hey, this is really expensive. So Merry Christmas. Y'all aren't going to have to have us.
They got it for themselves.
For themselves.
As a Christmas present to you.
To us.
So
right.
you don't have to deal with it. So, hey, Mom and Dad, you want to give me a Christmas present? That'd be one way to approach it.
There you go. Have some.
But and I had the exact same experience. I had a relative that actually came and asked my advice, and I told them all the reasons that they needed to get long-term care insurance. They didn't do it. 18 months later, the wife was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, and they didn't have the coverage. And you can't get the coverage then. It's like can't get, car insurance after the car wreck. It's not possible. So I would just begin to talk to them about it. Just say, I'm concerned, I love you, but you can't make them do it. And you're going to be really disappointed in your life if you keep trying to get people to do stuff they don't want to do. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Elizabeth is with us. She is in Sacramento. Hi, Elizabeth. I see on my screen you're completely debt-free. Way to go.
Yes, I am, and it is so incredible, exciting. I love knowing when I go to the store and I spend money, it is mine.
Love it, love it.
No repayments. Yep, me too.
How much did you pay off?
$65,000.
Cool. How long did this take you?
5 years.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
Well, when I finally got serious about getting out of debt, it started $11.86, and I've finished it. I just got a promotion last month. I'm now at $50,000 a year.
Good for you.
Wow, good for you.
That's amazing. So what do you do?
I work at a hotel. Now I'm a supervisor.
Cool. Good for you. Supervising what?
Supervising the front staff, assisting guests with any opportunities they may have at the hotel.
Great. Very cool. And what kind of debt was the $65,000?
It was a combination of $25,500 in student loans, $10,000 to the federal government, and $29,500 between 2 credit cards.
Wow. Way to go. How old are you?
I am 44.
So what happened when you were 39 that was your wake-up call?
Ugly divorce and custody issues and not being able to provide for myself or my son, and just getting myself more and more debt with credit cards to make ends meet. Was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I ended up having to let go of my fully furnished 2-bedroom apartment because I just couldn't afford the rent increases. What was originally $1,100 went to $1,800, within a year.
Sure.
And that's just ridiculous. So, I was tired of telling my son, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you, baby. I can't afford that. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't want my debt to make choices for me anymore. So I let go of my 2-bedroom apartment, moved in with a Christian family and friends, as a sublet, put everything I had in a 10 by 10 storage unit, and started selling it all. I'm glad my son didn't think he was next. On my jewelry, on my furniture, everything. It's now down to like a 5 by 10 storage unit, and I'm still selling stuff.
Look at you.
I took odd jobs, overtime. In fact, I volunteered to work the graveyard shift because it initially paid more an hour. Been with the same company 6 years, and I took advantage of every free thing that they offered as their team members and employees. And I love my company because they have been a huge part of that journey.
That's cool.
As well as my accountability partners and making a budget. That is just too crucial, the accountability and the budget.
How'd you run into the Ramsey stuff?
I had first heard about it actually from my ex-husband. About 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and our portion of the medical costs ended up to be like $40,000. And that was a huge amount of money for us, and we were already in debt. And we're like, well, we need to do something different because what we're doing is just not working. We're just getting into more holes. So we bought the DVDs and did the classes at home. And just as we were digging ourselves out of the credit cards, then we got a divorce. And so I dug myself back into more credit cards and more debt with the divorce costs and everything. And I ended up taking FPU twice through my church. And with this third time of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, I was like, I'm going to stop being Dave-ish and be gazelle intense. I want to slay the dragon of my debt.
And it sounds like in the process, you just hit Control-Alt-Delete on your whole life.
Everything was turned around. But they've been some of the best, worst experiences of my life, and I will never go back to credit cards, lending, borrowing money, nothing.
What was it like? I can't think of industry. I mean, there's so many that were hit hard in the last couple of years, but one of the hardest hit was the hotel industry. What was the stress like trying to keep this thing going?
Well, I'm fortunate to say we were attached to a casino, a tribal casino in Northern California. So while our industry, we did put pause for 6 weeks during the pandemic, I had already started my $1,000 step one emergency fund. And knowing that I had that in my back pocket, and I was already halfway through my debt journey, I was sailing through it. I was like, I'm going to take the time and just relax and enjoy and not work for 6 weeks and
then get back after
used that. Yeah, and we reopened, and I mean, we're still having issues as a hotel with staffing and, we try and keep everything super clean. The guests may not always understand that pre and post pandemic expectations can't, they're different.
Right.
But
well, good for you. There's fewer harder things than a single mom who says, all right, I just got to do this all over, and I got to start with myself, and I got to make this thing happen. And you did. And it's inspiring. It's incredible.
Very well done. We're proud of you. Good job, Elizabeth.
I'm proud of me too. Thank you.
What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Make a plan. I recommend the Ramsey steps, but if they want to follow something else, just find something that works for you, make a plan, get an accountability partner, and budget. And then if you can, cut that budget. I had, my bare minimum budget, and then I was like, because I don't drive for medical reasons, I was like, I can't afford to Lyft an Uber. So I cut my Lyft and Uber out of my life. I started walking more, taking public transit, and I, with my accounting partner, figured out that I can pay my friends, hey, how'd you like to make some extra money driving me around town? And so thankfully, when the bus is not available and I can't walk home with 2 bricks worth of groceries, they graciously pick me up, and Lyft and Uber is now a distant third option, a convenient option, but, it's not my first choice.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah, dude.
You get creative when you want out, and you got to work
Absolutely.
it, and you worked it. And
oh, yeah.
Very, very well done. Hey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story. You are on your way. You have turned the corner for sure. You've climbed your way up out of the valley, and you are heading across the top of the mountain. Well done. Also a copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give it away to somebody there in the hotel or some friend that's been helping you with driving around. Maybe you can start a holy ruckus in their life. That'd be good stuff.
Oh, I've already done that. I've had like several copies with your $10 sales, and I hand them out like candy. First taste is free.
Well, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Very well done. All right, it's Elizabeth in Sacramento. $65,000 paid off in 5 years, making $11.86 all the way to $50,000 a year. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Yeah, just in case you're sitting there making $82,000 a year with 2 car payments, whining that you can't figure out a way to do this, along comes Elizabeth and mic drops on your head.
Right. Or you're living in some giant metropolitan city and you think that the world should bring the rent down for you because you deserve to live in this town. Along comes Elizabeth and says, I'll take the night shift.
And I can't live in the 1800s, so I'm moving down to the 11. I'm moving out.
I'll live in this other place. I'll put all my stuff in a box and sell it. Good for her, man.
Just because I'm in Sacramento, I don't get a pass on math. I'm going to do what it takes. It's a different... There's something about people when they get up above a problem and stand on it rather than laying under it.
Yes.
And it's victor versus victim.
Man.
And we all can do both.
Yeah.
We all have a tendency to both.
Yeah.
But it is a conscious decision to get above it and go, no, not today, problem. Today I own you.
Big brain tumor, ugly divorce, single mom, making $11 to I'm turning this whole thing around. It's never too late to start over.
Yeah. And I got friends, and I got a great place to work, taking care of me.
Game on.
And family helping me.
That's right.
And a Christian family in my church taking me in.
Let's go.
Letting me sublet. Oh my gosh.
Let's do
There's
it.
people all around her helping her.
That's right.
This is the Ramsay Show. Caitlin is with us on the line. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Caitlin's in Washington, D.C. Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
Hey, good. Thank you for helping me out with my question.
Sure. How can we help?
Okay, so my husband and I just recently relocated from his job. We moved from my dream house and our dream location to this area. There wasn't anything
to this area.
So why did you leave? Why did you all destroy your dream?
It's just for his job. It's better. It's a better job.
So, okay. Anyway, so how can we help?
It was good. That was good. And it's not that bad. It really isn't. It's growing on me. But so my question is, we're going to close on our home we're selling at the end of this month. We are selling it for $925, and we bought it for $569. We owed around $228 on it. So when all is said and done, we should make about $680. Here we have purchased a townhome, which is much smaller. It's really nice, but it's not, our forever home. So my question is, when we do get that money, should we pay off the townhome? We would then become totally debt free.
Yes.
We owe about, okay. Okay. We owe about $311 on this now to pay that off. And then, our hope is to build. We're not sure where. We kind of want to see where we're going to be at. So we just want to make the right decision and then possibly keep this and then maybe rent it out in the future.
Only if you can build with cash and keep that with cash.
Okay.
If you have to sell that to keep from taking out a mortgage, then you will sell it.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and pay it off now. You've got the peace and the stability of no debt. You've got this tremendous cash flow with this wonderful new job, and you're going to use all of it to pile up cash in addition to what you've got left over from the sale of the dream home back at the other location. And all of that is moving towards building another dream home. Another home that you guys adore and love. And hopefully between the sale of the townhouse and the cash that you save and have saved from the other house, you can pay cash for the new house. If you can do that and keep the paid for townhouse as a rental, fine. But again, we're not going to keep the townhouse and then go borrow money on your new place, because that's in effect borrowing money to buy rental property, and we're not doing that.
Right.
So that's your plan.
Congratulations. What a big windfall. That's great, man.
Yeah. The bad news is you sold your dream house. The good news is you made bank on it.
We're rich.
It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Serious. Well done. Zach is in Minnesota. Hi, Zach. Welcome to the Ramsay Show.
Thanks. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So I am about to start a new career in real estate, and my wife and I are following your baby steps. Finally, after knowing them for so long, and we're finally getting intense on them. My question is, because real estate is commission only, should we build up our 3 to 6 months of emergency funds before we really delve into the debt snowball?
No. But what you should do is you should build an account, not that you don't call an emergency fund, but that you use to supplement your lack of income. That's different than an emergency. That's planning a career transition. And when I was in the real estate business, sometimes I had a month where I made zero, and I might make $20,000 the next month. And so we always kept a separate fund from our emergency fund that we had a horrible name for it. It was called the Hill and Valley Fund. When we were on the hill, we set some money back so when there was a valley. In other words, if you were charting your income and you saw hills and valleys, the Hill and Valley Fund smoothed them out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, here's the trick. 6 months in, you should not need this at all. You should be making more than you used to make total. And you should never look back. But in your first 6 months, your income is going to be, at best, volatile, at worst, non-existent. Now, does your wife work outside the home?
She does. She is working at a large department store while she is finishing her master's degree.
What is it you all are going to live on?
We are, well, that's why I'm asking if we should have kind of some money stockpiled up, because she's making about $2,800 a month before taxes.
Can you live on that?
And so, yeah, we can live on that.
Okay. If you can live on her income, then you don't have to have a lot stockpiled.
And here's maybe I'm reading into this, man, but if you can't afford 6 months of making zero salary, it might be that you need to pause on taking a 100% commission job if y'all can't eat. Or you're going to have to work on this job and get after it all day and then go find something at night and drive so that y'all have some food.
Yeah.
You know
but
what I mean?
For $2,800, if you guys can break even on that, then you don't need a fund.
Okay.
If she can make enough, you can live on your wife's income till you get your real estate business going. There's no, I mean, it's just, you just have to do that. You can't go up and go, well, we ran up $30,000 in credit card debt while I started my real estate. No, that would be stupid.
We're not using the credit cards anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what people do, and that's why I'm saying it out loud. So, yeah, we don't want to go that route. So you only need as big a fund as her income won't cover for 6 months. And that's as big a fund as you need. But it's not really an emergency fund. It's a plan to transition. And so an emergency is an unexpected event. This is expected. We're expecting this. We can predict it. And then get out there and kick butt and take names, and let's go make a bunch of money in the real estate business. So being straight commission in and of itself does not require you have an extra fund. It might lean you towards the 6 month side in that 3 to 6 months spectrum. But, if you're straight commission and you make $300,000 a year and you used to make $40,000 a year, you don't have a problem.
Yeah.
And so the fact that something is commission isn't the issue. Sometimes if something's commission and it means you don't make any money, it's not making money that's the issue, not the commissions. So being self-employed is not the issue. The issue is being self-employed and not making any money. So that's what comes up in people in these situations. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney's new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, last week was #1 in the nation on all the bestseller lists that matter, and pretty cool. So thank you, guys. We appreciate you in America. The book is a not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. It has done very, very well. It's continuing to sell very fast in a world where we need to have some framework for coping with the things we have gone through and or are going through. And every one of us have things we go through and or are going through. No one is an exception to that. And we've had a culture-wide experience in the past 24, 36 months of this culture-wide stress and anxiety level. And this gives you just some, okay, that guy over there is usually not a complete butt, so he must really be scared.
Yeah.
And it gives you a different framework of looking at things. And if you own your past, you say, that's there, that really happened, then you can change your future.
That's right. And we're heading into some strong headwinds with some negative financial information, and we're heading into some unstable political. It's going to be the rest of our lives. It's a thing will come up, and then mom will get sick, and we'll lose a job. Life happens. So I love it. It's a framework, man, for how to do life well.
It's a way of it gives me skills, tools in my belt we give you tools in your belt for your career, tools in your belt for your money, tools in your belt for your relationships and your mental wellness. And that's what we do here at Ramsey. And we do it here on The Ramsay Show. The phone number is 888-825-5225 if you want to participate. I am Dave Ramsey, your host, and we'll be back. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsay Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsay Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author of the book Own Your Past and Change Your Future, is my co-host today as we take your calls about your life and your money. It is a free call at 888-825-5225. Here on The Ramsay Show, we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create real relationships. Number 2 line is Joseph calling from Savannah, Georgia to kick off this hour. What's up, Joseph?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Just wanted to call and ask for some words of encouragement and help me to stave off losing motivation. I'm on baby step number 6, currently working 2 jobs, and I've been praying for God to help me with discernment to see if I should continue working the 2 jobs because the anxiety is getting to be a lot. And even though sending that big chunk to the mortgage company every month feels good.
So you are debt-free except your house.
Correct.
You're putting 15% of your income into retirement.
Correct.
Why are you working 2 jobs?
Because when I started this, baby step 7 was always the goal.
Yeah, but we didn't teach you to stay gazelle intense. After 4, we said move from intense to intentional. You go from sprint to marathon when you go into 4, 5, and 6. So how many hours a week are you working?
It's 2 full-time jobs.
Okay, what do you make at your main job?
I'm making 80.
And what do you make at the second job?
60.
And what do you owe on your house?
240.
Are you married?
No.
You have kids?
Yes.
You have custody of the kids?
50%. And I'm covering tuition.
What does the second job consist of?
Business analyst. So both jobs are remote.
So you're never off.
Cut the second job in half or by 75% or quit it completely today. You don't need that $60K.
Dave and I both know a bunch of millionaires who crossed that finish line and they looked around and had nothing. That's why we teach it the way we do.
Yeah. You've taken gazelle intensity and put it over into those last several baby steps, and it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
The human body, the human spirit, you're running out of gas. That's why you're calling, because you're gasping for air, and I don't blame you. You're not afraid of hard work, and you're actually not a workaholic. You're just so goal-driven and focus-driven that you've run yourself out of your own shoes.
When was your divorce?
2018.
Are you still running?
Yes.
Yeah. You got to stop. Because that shadow's chasing you and chasing you and chasing you, and as the sun moves, that shadow gets faster and longer. It's going to catch you.
There's something that is a little bit, it feels like you're afraid if you sit still, you won't like what you hear.
Or see.
Am I wrong?
I think being alone these last couple of years, God has been teaching me to listen to myself. So I've appreciated being alone and taking the time to reflect. I think...
I don't know when you had that time. The hours you're working.
Listen. There is none. Zero. There is no long-term wellness. There's no long-term healing. There's no long-term life with joy in it that is done in isolation.
And that is done with this many hours.
Right.
In the job. 2 full-time jobs it's not sustainable. You can do it for 2 or 3 years, and you have, because you busted through the first several baby steps, and that's fine. I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm not afraid of telling people to go work hard. But the way I answer questions here, Joseph, is I woke up in your shoes. I'm 3 years this out of a divorce. I got 50% of my time with my babies, and all I got left to do is knock out the mortgage. I'm currently putting 15% of my income away. I make 80. I could easily take that $60 back to 20, and I'd have so much free time I wouldn't know what to do with it. And that's what I would do. And then you just kind of, I want you to take a deep breath, and it feels like cold mountain air in the morning coming into your lungs. That's called peace, and just feel it. And that's what I would want for you. That's what I would want to be if I were you. And so I kind of did something similar, and I'm not accusing you of this, but when we went through bankruptcy, I worked like an absolute maniac the other side of that because I was so scared. And I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to dial it back. And it wasn't a workaholism. It wasn't in that sense, but it was just a running, like John was saying. And so if I were in your shoes, I'd dial it back.
Yeah, I think there's no question. And when you do dial it back, brother, I want you to make a commitment to yourself. I'm going to go walk, or I'm going to go to the gym a few times a week. And I'm going to get a group of guys, and I'm going to invite them over to the house, and I don't know what you're into. We're going to watch fights. We're going to watch don't watch golf on TV, God help you. But we're going to get a group of guys over together, and we're going to watch something. We're going to do something together, and I'm going to begin to build back relationships in my life. You had 2 years of being in complete and total isolation. That anxiety alarm that you're feeling is ringing off the wall because your body is saying, hey, we're not safe.
You called us because you wanted us to tell you what you already knew.
That's right. It's time.
That happens a lot around here. Dan is in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Hi, Dan. Welcome to the Ramsay Show.
How are you doing today?
Great, man. What's up?
Hey, I am 61 years older. I will be in July. I just went through a divorce 2 years ago and ended up selling the house and bought a holiday trailer to live in because I'm not going to pay for another mortgage. And I have about $170,000. That's $130 in cash and the rest in a mutual fund. But I'm trying to figure out what I should do for retirement because I have friends that are younger than me. They're having one had a stroke and he can't drive anymore, and my health is not the greatest. So I'm trying to figure out what to do.
What's wrong with your health?
I just got screwed up guts. Screwed up guts and a bad back, so bad combination.
Okay. Well, you're not going to be lifting anything for a living. Are you working?
Oh, yeah, I'm a truck driver, which is really not great for either or. But
yeah, okay.
I would like to get out of it and retire, but my plan was to get the house all paid off and just get a part-time job and kind of enjoy life. And that kind of went out the window. So
yeah. Jump on RamseySolutions.com and hit the SmartVestor Pro button and find a SmartVestor Pro that can advise you on helping you get some of that $170,000 invested. It's sitting in a savings account, not making any money, and also set you up a Roth IRA and some other things and get some investing going so you can get your nest egg up a little better so you can relax here in the next couple of years. It sounds like other than that, you're on your way. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we talk about your life and your money. If you've taken Financial Peace University, you know it's life-changing. It's hard to watch your friends and family struggle with money when you know there's a way, you know there's hope. Now you can actually help them change their family tree, just like you did when you give them a Ramsey Plus gift card. It bundles everything that they need to win with money into one gift. It includes Financial Peace University, a year of the premium version of Every Dollar, the Every Dollar app, so it connects to your bank. And now we've also added unlimited group coaching from our team of financial coaches. So coaching, Every Dollar, Financial Peace University, wow. A Ramsey Plus gift card, listen to this, all of that should be like $500 worth of stuff. $99, and that's a year's access. $99. That's a deal.
That's a hookup, man.
That's a deal.
That's
I
pretty
think we've
good.
made a mistake, but okay. But it's really this is the best thing we do around here, and one of the best things we do around here, and Man. So RamseySolutions.com/gift. Get a Ramsey Plus gift card for just $99. You can give this to a friend. Maybe you know somebody's getting ready to graduate. Hello. Getting ready to get married. It's wedding and graduation season. Gift card, $99. Gets them everything. And here's the thing. They can't throw it in the back closet and not get it out for 5 years because it's only good for a year, so they got to go do it.
And they can't buy something stupid on Amazon with that gift card. So get them a gift card that's actually going to change their life.
You mean there's stupid stuff on Amazon?
I've bought my share of stupid stuff,
Have
Dave. It goes like every, once a year.
This morning?
Says, here's what you bought
This morning?
year. No, not this morning.
Okay.
But it says
if you don't want to buy stupid stuff on Amazon, the best thing to do is stay away from Rachel Cruz.
Here's what you bought last year, and I look at it and go, oh man, I really needed those special
don't
fishing
even
hooks.
know what that does, but I hit the button and got it delivered. Yeah. Oh, all right. David's in Dallas. Hi, David. How are you?
Hey, Dave and Tom. It's great to talk to you and pick your brains on something today.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I'm 56. I've got $228,000 in 6 different debts, including 2 student loans, my wife's undergrad, and then my Parent Plus loan for my kid, who has been on your show doing a debt-free screen back in 2018, and then also master's work that I did. And
y'all are educated up around there. I hope you're making money. What's your household income?
About $150.
No, that's good. Okay.
Actually, about $160 now, come to think of it.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to figure out is, given my age, given the debt level, is it wise for me just to stick with baby step 2, or to go ahead and start putting some into Roth to start making some headway there?
What do you and your wife do for a living?
Retirement. We both work in education. She's a teacher, and I work in IT.
What do you do in IT?
I'm a director. I manage email, voicemail, telephone systems. My group handles everything that all the end users touch.
So you're making how much of the 160?
About 102.
Okay. Are you allowed in your current contract to take any side consulting gigs?
Yes.
Good. You need some. So here's what. Number one, the answer to your question is no. You don't need to go get a Roth IRA. Instead, what you need is a vision for paying off this debt very, very quickly so that you're not panicked about the fact that you have no retirement. So what if I said, let's go completely out of our minds bizarre for 2 years and be debt free? You guys both are high intellect. You're both very intellectual people. And if you're not careful, you're going to think yourself out of a visceral response to this problem, which is the fastest way out. I want you to get so pissed off that your eyes are bleeding and your brain quits thinking, and all you do is go make money like a maniac and get your income up at 2 1/4 and live on beans and rice, and you don't need to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there. And if you even get on Amazon again, I'm going to throw your computer in the dadgum trash. And oh, by the way, you're not going on vacation. You need to get your butt in gear and get this mess cleaned up. That kind of emotion, instead of using intellect to fix this problem, because you use intellect to fix everything because you're so freaking smart.
Well, if I were that smart, I wouldn't be in this situation.
Hey, man,
dude,
talked to a lot of doctors.
You are both highly educated, very analytical people. Am I right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, and so you're trying to figure out a way around this is why you called. And instead, I'm throwing dynamite in the middle of this thing,
Hit it in the mouth, man.
blowing you
Yes.
up, man.
Well, I mean, I do pick up stuff that's primarily in the fall. It goes basically from August through January-ish, and I'm trying to add to it for the spring. I mean, I end up picking up additional stuff through working games, where I pick up, $4,000 to $6,000 a year additional. And just
I'm talking about enough. I'm talking about $50,000.
Yeah, that's $5. I mean, that's $50 a pop. You got to make more than that.
I'm talking about $50,000. You're in an industry where you can contract out and manage it from your home while your wife is asleep and go bananas. And I don't want you to do this for very long, right. but I want you to have no life so that very quickly you have a life again. Because here's the thing: let's pretend that you lost your mind and people thought you were crazy, like I'm describing, and you guys just went bananas. You scorched earth on the lifestyle, and in 2 years you were free. at 58. How rich are you going to be making by then probably $180,000 a year without working crazy and having no payments in the world for the first time in your recent memory? You're going to have so much margin that you're going to be able to throw so much money. You'll probably be worth in excess of $1 million by the time you get to 65, starting at 58. But you have this barrier in front of you, and you have 2 years of hell to bust that barrier.
Can y'all do that?
Yeah, the only challenge we have is our daughter, single parent of an infant, and having to care for her sometimes, and my wife having to juggle working late sometimes. But we can figure that piece out.
And it can also be a really challenging conversation, sitting down with your daughter saying, we're going to be able to, we've got this plan, which is going to benefit you and this young granddaughter in the long run exponentially more than scattershot babysitting here in the current.
Well, no, it's not that. It's she works 7A, 7P, and there is no daycare.
Okay.
That we found anyway. We found inexpensive daycare, $45 a day, while she is at work and while we're at work.
Okay.
But when we get home, one of us is there watching. That doesn't mean that I can't go ahead and work, doing IT stuff, et cetera.
So here's the thing. There's a lot going on, and you have some barriers. The truth is, though, the best way to get where you want to be,
not the barriers.
The best way they're obstacles. They're things you have to work through. Whatever it is, we can call them whatever we want to call them. But best way to be where you want to be 9 years from today is what I just described.
Quit thinking about it and go get it done.
The highest probability of you getting there in the shortest amount of time is what I described. From all of my 30 years of doing this, I don't know a better way. And it is not a better way to limp into retirement with 4 different kinds of student loans hanging around your neck, and you've got a half-butt Roth IRA.
Right.
And that's where you'll be 9 years from now if you try to just short-circuit this system instead of punching this thing in the nose. But there's something that has to happen inside of your deep down where you growl. That's not your brain.
Yes.
It's the I've had it moment, and you're just howling at the moon, and you're going, no more. I've worked my butt off. I got this stupid Parent Plus loan. I've got this kid with a single mom, one of my grandbabies, and I love them dearly, but dadgum, what a mess. And oh my gosh, and I got to fight through this. And there's something you're just going to have to double up your fist and just get after it. And that's the best way out of this. It's the fastest way out. And I don't know a better way, a modified version of that to tell you. If I did, I would, because it's what I'm prescribing is a horrible 2 years. I want you to have a miserable 2 years so that the next 25 are excellent.
There you go.
This is The Ramsay Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Kyle and Corinne are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Good.
Better than I deserve. It's so good to have you. Where do you guys live?
Bellingham, Washington.
Bellingham, Washington. Bit of a haul to Nashville.
It was.
Well, it's good to have you. Thank you for joining us. How much debt have you paid off?
$273,000.
Woo! How long did that take?
About 5 years.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
About 92 to 140.
Good. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a police officer.
And I'm a part-time speech-language pathologist.
Very good. Cool. So 5 years and $273,000 in Bellingham, Washington. Was that your house?
We're weird people, Dave.
Look, talking to weird people. Yeah. I love it. Very cool. What's this house worth?
Right now, it's around $750 probably.
I hate it when that happens. I love it. How old are you two?
I'm 39.
I'm 38.
Not even 40 with a paid-for $750,000 house.
Yes.
Y'all are truly weird. How much is in your 401ks, your retirement stuff?
Enough to probably tip us over to that everyday millionaire status.
Way to go. Baby steps millionaires. Woo!
Wow.
Look at you. You did it. Man. And not even 40 years old.
No, and by the way, a police officer and a part-time speech path paid off their house before 40.
Not brain scientists.
They're not fixing rockets.
No.
Actually, you're fixing neighborhoods, which is harder, right?
For real.
But yes, we're not making millions of dollars here, man. And they figured it out. Dude, I got to hear the story. What happened?
This is incredible. Yeah, how'd you do this?
So we bought a new house, and we kept our old one as a rental because that's what people do, I guess. And then about a year into it, we decided that was not really good for us. So I started researching whether we should sell that house or not. And that's how I tripped on your materials. And after that, we decided to sell it. We put all that money down on our current house, the new house that we bought. I was messing around with Excel, and you could see how much you would save by putting that amount of money, $40,000 down on it, and it was just incredible.
Oh, it blows your mind.
Yeah. And so then
Plus, you got rid of all the hassle.
Right.
Yes.
That
got my life back.
And mostly him. He took care of everything.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it wasn't for us. So then I just deep dived into your material, Dave. I just kept going to Corinne and saying, okay, let's put, a little extra money on the house and we can get it paid off early.
And I'd just say, okay, sounds good.
I come back to her and say, okay, I think we can do a little bit more.
Totally fine.
And then a little bit more. And it just kept going like that.
Corinne, when did you finally say enough?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I mean, I was on board. I really.
So he incrementally warmed you up to where
He
you didn't even
did.
realize how crazy you got.
It's
He
like
did.
a frog in the
yes,
water.
Yeah, I got it.
completely.
I got
And he, I just trusted him completely with the finances. He kind of handled it, and
She's sweet.
He would talk to me about it, and when he showed me that Excel spreadsheet and said, "We're going to save this much," that was powerful for sure.
Okay. Then on that basis, we're doing that.
I still wasn't fully. I wasn't fully.
I like that as much as I trusted him. Okay.
Yes.
I looked at the numbers and then I trusted him.
Well, and then I think what really happened is COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then
That's when he'd always listen to you. Actually, one time I even asked him in the car, I said, why do you listen to him? You know all the answers, because he would spout them out before you. And COVID.
It is fairly easy.
Yes. COVID hit, and the news was just gloomy and sad, and everybody was depressing. So I thought, I'm gonna listen to Dave Ramsey. And I got hooked. You were hopeful and you were upbeat, and you and John Deloney specifically just helped in those very early months of COVID for me. And I started listening and thinking, this is actually something I want to do. And you offered financial peace for free, and so we watched it at home after the girls would go to bed. And as I watched all your classes, I realized, oh man, our opportunities will increase if we do this, if we pay off the house. And then also your generosity video really spoke to me. I was like, I want to be that person that offers to pay for somebody at the grocery store, which I've done once and he turned me down. And that's where we just really started dialing it up.
I think that going through that class really clicked in the why. And for me, it was like, man, what does this future look like with the girls? What kind of trips can we do for them? Pay for their college, maybe buy them a home later in life. And then for Corinne, it was for the girls.
It was for education. I didn't really want to go public schools, and I wanted to have that opportunity to either do homeschool or private school. And without having the financial burden of a mortgage, it just allowed me to either go even more part-time or quit my job or private, and just opportunities.
Wow. Way to go, you guys. You're amazing. Well done.
So
powerful.
The last 24, 36 months has been real tough on police officers.
Yes.
How have you kept your foot on the gas at home while also navigating a really just a tough work environment?
Great question. I wasn't prepared for that one.
No.
That goes to kind of like how you do it. And I think it's just really intentionality for us was we just had that goal, and it sort of drove what we chose to do and what we chose not to do in our lives. And I've just found that you're successful at what you're intentional at. And so we really dove into the house. And I wouldn't say we made huge sacrifices, but it was just consistent choices. And then I think that's the same at work too, is you just have to make consistent choices of, I'm here to do this. I'm here to serve my community. I want to make a difference. And I just got to keep reminding myself that, because there is a whole lot of people that will tell you that you're there for a different reason.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. I'm not, I read the other day a guy said, I'm not responsible for the narrative of me that you have in your head.
That's right. But that idea, if I tell you what, you just summed up therapy, you summed up workout programs, diet programs. Goals are a function of what you're intentional about, period. In business, you just summed it up right there. That's incredible, guys.
Well done.
You're not even 40.
Well
I don't know how to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful.
Pretty exciting.
How's it feel to not have a payment in the world?
It feels great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's still a little weird. I have to admit, I haven't really felt it yet, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of surreal.
It's very surreal, and to not even be 40. And I think both of us secretly had a little goal to do this before we were 40. So.
Not a secret anymore.
Yeah.
It's not.
The secret's out. You did it.
No.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
I
love it.
I can't wait till Kyle, you're going to pull somebody over in about 6 months, and they're going to be like, ooh, millionaire, give me a ticket. And they'll be like, that's what I'm talking about. It's
That's
gonna
awesome. That's going to happen next week.
I can't wait.
Oh, my gosh.
Congratulations,
Hard
guys.
to be intimidating now.
Well, that's always been hard for me. But,
Oh, my goodness. Well done, you guys. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. You should be in the book. You did it exactly the way that is laid out here. 5 years they pay off their mortgage from the time they set the goal. $750,000 paid for home at not even 40 years old. Also a copy of Total Money Makeover. You can give that away to somebody and continue to spread the ruckus that we're causing out here in America. We're trying to stir it up, and we appreciate all you guys out there helping us do just that. Spread the word about the podcast. Spread the word about the Debt-Free Screams. Spread the word about Dr. John's #1 best-selling book. Spread the word about the #1 bestseller, Baby Steps Millionaires, because I'm sitting here looking at 2 of them. Boom! This stuff is real, people. This stuff is real. I'm so proud of y'all.
It works.
Thank you. It
Good
really
stuff.
does.
Yeah, we got a great story about the Total Money Makeover. Corinne came to me and was like, I'm not sure who we're going to give the book to, right? And I was like, don't worry, God will tell us who to give it to. And the next day, she came to somebody that said, hey, I want to talk to you about that Dave Ramsey guy.
There it is. Just like that. All right, let's bring the girls up. What are their names and ages?
Come on up.
Penny is 6 and Hattie is 3.
All right, we're going to do our debt-free scream, house and everything. Those 2 right there have had their lives changed. Their family tree is changed by their brave, courageous mom and dad. $273,000 paid off in 5 years, making 92 to 140. House and everything. Baby Steps Millionaires before they're 40. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yes! Woo! Yeah! I love it.
So cool, man.
As Rachel always says, there was a day I was that little girl.
Yep.
Man.
Goes quick.
This is the Ramsay Show. Our scripture of the day, Exodus 15:13. In your unfailing love, you will lead the people you have redeemed. In your strength, you will guide them to your holy dwelling. Joe DiMaggio said, a person always doing his or her best becomes a natural leader just by example. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Shane is with us in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Shane. Welcome to the Ramsay Show.
Hey, thank you both. It's an honor to be speaking with you.
You too. What's up?
Hey, so my question is this. I guess a little context. My wife and I discovered your program 2 years ago, which a lot has happened in the last 2 years, obviously. Very thankful for that. And we'll be in baby step 7 a year from today is our plan. And my question to you is, does it ever make sense to have more than one financial advisor in your corner?
What would be the purpose?
So we've been looking through the ELPs, we've been shopping around, and we found some really great people in our area, and there's just a few that we really like, and we're just curious, does it make sense to maybe give a little bit of money one and then a little bit of money to the other and see who performs better? Is that just overcomplicating things, or does it make sense to do that? I try to keep things as simple as possible.
Yeah. It's using the tool wrong. It's not up to them to perform. It's up to you to perform. It's up to them to teach you, and you make the decisions. And if both of them are teaching you and they're giving you slightly different teaching, then you're just going to be confused. So I would use one, but you don't want to, you're not handing them the money as a test and going, okay, who wins the race? Because they're not in the race, you are. You see the difference?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so, I don't get 2 tax guys to run or tax people to run my tax returns to see who wins. I need my taxes done right with the most possible money not going to the government, the least money going to the government possible. And, so that's the goal that is legal and moral. And, we just came through an audit, which is the first time I've gotten that wonderful inspection of my body parts.
It's like an enema, right?
Yeah, unbelievable. And it came out, you know what I came out with? Owing 0.
Wow.
That's how good we are. Because we're fanatics about the integrity of doing it properly.
Right, yeah.
We don't lie. We don't cut corners. We don't cheat. I hate taxes. I hate that the government takes so much of my money, but I'm going to do it exactly right. So it's my job to make sure that the stuff's filed right, and I use an advisor, a professional in that corner. Yeah, I just learned to play golf. I've been learning to play golf. I'm not any good in the last 3 years. And one of the best pieces of advice I got, and everybody's got a freaking opinion about golf. I've never seen a sport with as much diverse stupid stuff in it. I mean, my God. And so, but one of the single best piece of advice I got is don't get more than one coach. Because they'll make you schizophrenic at your golf swing, and make you multiple personalities with your golf swing, whatever the phrase is. It's a metaphor here. But anyway, so yeah, I got one guy, and I'm doing that. When I cease to believe that he's moving me to the next level, then I'll get a different guy.
Well, and that's what I heard here is, I like them. I want them to prove themselves to me. And if you don't trust the person with your retirement account that's teaching you, go to somebody else.
But the proving needs to be, did I learn something, and am I comfortable making these choices
the call with my money?
Because they showed me how to handle my money.
Right.
Not because I handed it to them and one of them does better than the other one.
Or they gave me some magic dust package that was going to get an X return, right?
The financial world is full of those people.
Yes.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's what we're looking for. So that's a really good question,
Great
Shane.
question.
But yeah, I use one insurance professional. I use one real estate professional, my son-in-law. I use one, one golf coach, one SmartVestor Pro.
Oh, that makes sense, because I had sent you an email back just asking if I could help you with your golf swinging. You never wrote back. I now understand. It wasn't because of me.
It's because I have played golf with Happy Gilmore. You know the running swing that Gilmore has as he runs at the ball with a driver?
I'm not great.
This is John.
I'm not great.
I played with John, and John drove a 310-yard green. On the 18th green, he drove the green, 310 yards. The rest of the day, he drove the woods with style.
Hey, man.
I mean,
I'm not great.
I don't know how many balls he started with. I know how many he ended with.
I borrowed somebody's clubs because I don't have my own. And a week later, they're like, "Hey, man, you owe me like $20."
Yeah, you tore up my clubs.
In balls. Yeah,
you used up their golf ball. $20.
Hey, man, I sent golf balls all over America.
I don't know where. No, that was $200. $20 wouldn't have bought those golf balls.
I'm not great, Dave. I'm not great. Not great.
Yeah, you brought it up. You brought up coaching me, so I'm just saying. I'm not great, but I'm not Happy Gilmore.
You're better than me.
I was afraid we're going to have to go in the pond out with that alligator and get some of those back. Oh, great. Thank you, Adam Sandler, for the memories. All right, open phones at 888-825-5225. Timothy's in Washington, D.C. Hi, Timothy. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So I have just started a brand new job, coincidentally, in the federal government, working for the Library of Congress in their Braille Music Division. And I am very illiterate when it comes to benefits and retirement and stuff. I've heard my parents talk about it, but I never actually pursued it very deeply to learn all the ins and outs of what each thing means. I've been in touch a little bit with your SmartVestor pros, and they told me I should need to get a financial cushion under my belt first before I think about investing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just wanted to find out from you what your advice would be to someone who's 28 years old, just starting out work and basically starting from the bare bones bottom. I have no debt at all.
Yeah, you're ahead.
You're way ahead, brother. Congratulations.
Actually, people don't start from the bottom. They usually start from subterranean, and they have to dig up to the bottom. But yeah, you are starting at the bottom. But hey, congratulations. So Braille music, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
That's so cool.
Are you Braille literate? I'm assuming so.
I am.
Very cool, man.
Are you sight impaired?
I was born blind.
I'm sorry?
Yes, I am. I'm totally blind.
Okay. Wow. Good for you, man. That's a great job.
You're a rock star, dude.
That is so cool. All right, so the process will not be any different. And so what you're saying is that I don't even have the basic tool set. I need a starter tool set to get going with this whole money thing. Agreed?
Well, I've got financial peace.
You do?
I'm in the Ramsey Plus membership.
Okay,
so
yeah, obviously the audio of all of that is very valuable to you then.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And then I do have access to some of your books electronically. There's a website called Bookshare that has a lot of your material.
Yep. We tried to make sure they get it, so that's good. And we appreciate them carrying it. So good. Okay, so that's it. I mean, you're going to work the baby steps. You're going to make sure you have the proper insurances in place, and that's one of your lessons in Financial Peace University. You're going to, make sure you get your emergency fund in place, which is what your SmartVestor Pro told you to do, and then you're going to start investing in. You said it's a federal government employee, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got the TSP available to you. And when you start doing that, you're going to investigate. You're probably going to want to do about 80% in the C, about 10% in the S, and about 10% in the I. That's small company and international. The C is common stock. It's about like an S&P 500 fund. And if you put money in those for a couple decades, you'll probably be a millionaire if you load them up.
That's awesome,
and
man.
So you'll be on your way. And you're right on track. You're a neat guy, man. That's so cool. I'm glad to hear that. I didn't even know that existed, that the Braille music, that's so cool.
The Library of Congress is a vast
I know it's
hall.
fascinating.
It's awesome,
but I mean, that's amazing. Very cool. Good show, John and James and Ben and everybody in the booth. Everybody, thank you. That puts this hour of the the Ramsay Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsay Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsay Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.